Okay, I got the stream started here. Just make sure that the stream is solid and then we'll get going. Ooh, only 4 seconds delay this morning. That is fantastic. Okay, so back to the tombstone here, and we are going to draw this up. So we have a 45 diameter circle that we are needing to draw here. Now, when we look at the handout for creating the isometric circles, remember that with our isometric circle here, which will be on the left isoplane, there's actually four curves. So there's our one curve, and so really all we're going to need are two of the curves. So we're just going to need to draw the one curve from the far corner of the box here, and then for these ones here, we will draw just the construction lines needed for this arc on the other corner. So I'm going to pull up my document on that here now. Okay, so this is the left isoplane. So first of all, what I need to do is construct the 45 box so I can build the construction lines for the top of this thing. So there's my box. So now if you guys ever want to come over and visit your instructor, you're actually welcome to do so. I'll make you a damn fine cup of coffee. There's one of them that is. She's hand tamed. That's Elizabeth. She's the crossbreed, so she's half Americana and half Plymouth Rock. As a result, she goes on vacation for laying eggs in the wintertime, which sucks. The Plymouth Rock chickens are they're kind of a northern hemisphere chicken, so they lay eggs whether the sun is out or not. So she's got the personality, but unfortunately, she just doesn't have production happening when pretty much after what, maybe the equinox, maybe a little bit after that. She's just like, yeah, I'm done. And yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? You my protein needs did not stop just because it got dark. So okay, so there's the box. So you guys can see I've drawn the bottom of my box, and there's the sides. So we've got all four sides of the box created. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my my bisector. So I just need to measure. I've got a 22.5 measured here. I should have measured it on the other side because that's really where I need it. So there's 45, and I'm just looking for 22.5 in here. In our last cohort of students last year, there was construction in the classroom. They actually kicked us out for 3 months. We had to move to another part of the campus because they were building a new kitchen downstairs for doing First Nations fusion cuisine. So what they were doing is we have a fantastic culinary program, and basically the idea was to take food that had been created here, over hundreds of years prior to Western society landing here, and build a food program around what First Nations ate, and then employing all the modern cooking techniques and other influences, and so they were building a whole new kitchen. So we were kicked out, and we really missed getting coffee from downstairs. So we had a coffee machine in the office, or in our drafting lab. where we moved to our new location. And then when we came back, we just kept it. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, well, you know what? I have asked. Well, here's the deal. There's a fair amount of space between the desks at school, and we could conceivably have a half cohort that's there. So I have um, I have discussed this with the school, and everybody's looking at sort of the infection rates that are going on, and there's some thought. Well, they're kind of going up. It's not. It's actually not too bad. I've got a friend who's an epidemiologist at the BC Centre for Disease Control, and she says that yeah, no, there's not sort of super concern about a crap ton of people dying. Most of the concern that you see, in terms of keeping the social distancing, is just so that we don't overwhelm our our health services. So in some places where there was no controls put in, the hospitals were pretty full up and it messed up surgery schedules and all that stuff. So we don't want that happening here. Um, so that's part of the reason why we're trying to take it easy. But that said, there is some thought that this thing could blow over by January, and then we could be back in the classroom. Now, even if that is not the case, if there's a pretty strong feeling that a bunch of us want to get into the classroom, and there's sort of a certain amount of risk, minor or major, however you feel about that, that's associated with that decision. And those who want to do that, we could probably get 10 people into the classroom and just use half the space. We'd have to get a protocol approved. If we were really interested in that, it would take a while, but I could certainly ask the school about starting that process. And then, those of you who are really happy at home and need to be at home and it helps you to be at home, you could do so. And then those of you who would like the in-class action, hey, I can move there. Well, frankly, after this week, I don't even need this machine anymore. I'm just going to be on a computer um, more or less full time, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm in the classroom or at home. So we could definitely move everything to the school, provided there was a protocol to do so. And having to do that for each program is a huge pain in the neck for the university. They've done it for some programs that, of course, require it, like welding and carpentry, which they basically got half their students in at any given time. And so, you know, if it came to that, I could certainly make that inquiry. So now I'm building my circle here. So if you look on the Isometric 3D Circles handout, I'm looking at the left isoplane. And so really all I need are the construction lines to build the arc for this corner and for this corner. And this one's easy because I just start here, put my compass here, and draw that circle. So I'm going to focus on this one here. So I start from the bottom of the box. So remember, I've got my 45 box, and I've drawn it here. And of course, the tombstone thing is a little bit taller, so the line comes down almost to the bottom of it, and then we're done. So I've got to draw a construction line, and this is where precision is super, super important, because the curves will totally go south on you if you don't have all of your lines in exactly the right spot. So you got to get your lines in exactly the right spot, and then when you've got the intersection sorted, you've got to have your compass exactly on the intersection. And this is where it can be a bit frustrating to get the results that you want, because things just aren't lining up. Okay, so this is the only two construction lines that I need to draw, because all I need to draw is for that curve. Okay, here goes nothing. So I'm just checking my compass here and making sure that the tip of the metal is there, and then fine-tuning that. Okay. So then just bringing that thing in so that it's going to start right there, and I'm just going to check and make sure it's going to hit the curve on the other side there. Oh, jeez. Like, massive fail. Oi. Okay. So now I got to look and see what I did wrong here, because there's Actually, what I did here is I probably just didn't draw this line particularly well, because it actually should be just straight. Oh, it is straight across, so there's nothing there. Okay, I just got to check my measurements again, because this is unacceptably. Oh, there's 22.5 there. Part of the problem too is that sometimes I'm not direct. Oh, there's the problem right there. I'm not directly over the camera when I put some of these lines in, because I'm sitting back in my chair instead of being over this thing, because I have to look over top of my phone, which I'm using as the webcam for this thing. There's my problem right there. Okay, that is just going to be confusing to you all, so I'm just going to try and erase my previous construction line there. Well, it's you know what? It's enough to completely ruin my curve. It is. It's true. I've had I've taught, this is the 4th year that I've taught this program, and one thing that this particular part of the program does is it tells me who's got good fine motor control, because this stuff is crazy. Like, just the kind of fine precision, just holding the compass, getting the point in place, and then moving the compass into place and getting the curve that you're supposed to have. Now, this curve is going to start from where the smaller arc ends, and you can see I've got my little halfway point here, 22.5 down from the corner to draw the other curve. So now, I just want you to know I'm feeling a tremendous sense of satisfaction right now. You know, when, well, yeah, it's like, well, it does. It feels good, man. So now what we've got to do is we've got to do this same set of arcs on the back plane. Now, let's look at how this is going to. Is that right? Oh, isometric circles? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Good. This feels like home for you then. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw what we got to do is we're going to draw this same box, and I'm going to erase it here because I'm done. Now I'm going to have my compass points in both of these locations. So when I come back to hit this hard to do my final lines, you know, my compass point locations are there. So I don't even need the construction lines anymore. I know where I'm going, and I can still kind of see, you know, what's happening here. So what I got to do is I got to draw this 45 by 45 box, but I've got to draw it on this back plane. So I'm going to construct that back curve now. So there's the back plane coming down. So I got to measure 45 down from this corner so I can build my my square on which I will draw those two curves at the back. So okay. So there's my 45, and then I'm going to make sure I get the 22.5 a little bit more accurately this time. Actually, I'll draw the 22.5 on the other side here. So there's 45 right to the intersection. my my lead pencil sharpener, I don't know what's going on with it. It doesn't want to sharpen this pencil lead I've got. I don't have the lead that I actually have in this pencil that I'm drawing with right now. It's a polymer lead, so it's a little harder, it's a little tougher, but the pencil sharpener just doesn't want to get me a really decent point on it. So I've been fighting with it, and it just doesn't want to play nice. So the problem is I'm using this. It's like a little bit of a broken off tip, and I'm using this as my to help draw construction lines, which means I have to look kind of carefully at the tip and make sure that where it hits the paper is the actual point of the moment. So it's a little bit of guesstimation. Anyways, okay, so that's my 22.5, and then I'm going down to do my 45 here. There we go. So now I will draw, and I actually don't really need that much of the box, right? I just need the starting point. So just a little line here so I know where to put my compass. So there's that one. And then I do have to draw this, like the diagonal I did before. I got to hit the halfway point. So I got to measure 22.5 over on the top. There we go. So this is the one that I really got to nail. Make sure it's accurate. And I'm not using, like, this isn't an angle of any kind. Like, it's not like this is 22.5 or any reasonable angle. Okay, so there's that one done. And then the one I need in the other direction is just straight across from 22.5. So that's going to be my starting point right there for my short arc for my isometric curve on the back. And I'll just put a little bit. And these are not like, you know, sort of sensible locations. So where that intersection is like, I mean, it's like you have to really watch where you are when you're constructing your 45 sides here. You know, 22.5 down here, straight across, 22.5 on a diagonal here, and then down to the bottom of the 45-degree box that you created here. So this is definitely a tricky business. And then, of course, again, you got to make sure that you hit that intersection like bang on. Now, before I get started, we got to remember that we're drawing a tangent here. And so I'm going to bring my 30 up here, my 30 set square, and I'm going to look for the tangent and just start drawing that over just lightly. This is a construction line just to make sure that I can see where my curve is going to start. I don't need to draw any of the curve beyond the tangent because it's hidden. It's hidden by the object itself. So, and then my curve should stop there. So this is going to be just a little bit of a short piece. Okay, so there's that one. And then my curve to this corner here is going to start here and go up to that, should go up to that one there. So here goes nothing. There. So that's how that should end up panning out. There's a whole bunch of lines all over the place, which are, part of the construction lines for building this thing that are, it's a bit of a mess, and you have to kind of see your way through it because there's a lot of them, but keep them light. And, the precision is the big thing to try and get your uh, your curves to all meet. So what we'll do here is, where are we at? We are at 10:30. So I'll leave this with you guys for the morning here. Now, our lunch break is from 11:15 to noon. So we'll fire up again at noon with the 4 objects, A, B, C, and D, that were in the ADT1 channel. So go ahead and grab those, and then we'll look at constructing those things at 12 o'clock sharp.